I am with you in this moment, closer than breath, nearer than the shadow that crosses your shoulder. I am the quiet current beneath your life's surface and the roar that wills mountains to move, and I speak to you now not as an accusation but as an invitation, not as an obligation but as a revelation. You were chosen, not because you are perfect, not because you have never failed, not because you have kept a tally of good deeds, but because inside you is a light I conceived before your first sunrise, a unique spark that the world cannot live without, a frequency of purpose only you can carry. Hear me clearly. Being chosen does not mean a paved road without storms. Being chosen means you carry a responsibility of becoming what I designed you to be. And I will give you the tools, the mercy, the people, and the opportunities to respond. Let go for a moment of the stories you have been telling yourself about scarcity, about not being enough, about doors that closed and dreams that died. Those stories are not the sum of you, they are chapters, and I am the author who still has many pages to write. Your history will not be erased, but it will be transformed. The scars will become the geography from which your compassion springs. The failures will become the proof that you learned, and the losses will become the soil in which new blessings take root. When wealth arrives, and I do not promise only gold and numbers in a bank, but abundance in peace, in purpose, in relationships, in creative fulfillment, let it refine you rather than define you. Let your heart be the first beneficiary of your riches, and let generosity be your reflex, because true riches are measured by the capacity to give, to open hands when your instinct is to close them. I am not blind to how the world defines success, titles, houses, the flash of status. Those things may come, use them as instruments, not as idols. Keep your feet on the earth where people live and cry and laugh. Never allow the trappings to build walls so high that your neighbor cannot knock and be heard. When you are tempted to hoard, remember the faces of those who taught you to dream. When you are tempted to compare, remember that your path is not their script, and comparison steals joy and purpose. Understand too that choice has been placed in your hands not to frighten you but to prove you, the choice to act, the choice to love, the choice to persist when all evidence points otherwise. I will not force your will. I will nudge, I will arrange, I will open and close, but the movement forward requires your consent. When you doubt, when the nights are long and the calendar shows nothing but empty boxes, lean into faith as a muscle, exercise it. Faith is not a blind leap, it is a steady step into the evidence of small mercies, the answered prayers you almost missed. The people who appeared like constellations in your dark sky. Keep a ledger of gratitude and I will keep writing miracles in the margins. There will be seasons designed to teach you humility. Pride is a prison that looks like a palace. It will turn every favor into an entitlement. Remember how it felt to need someone and be helped. Let that memory soften you. Let humility keep your ears open and your hands ready to serve, because the world needs leaders who remember they were once led. When fear screams that you must cling to what you have, let courage be your counterpoint. Courage is not the absence of fear but the decision that something else is more important than the fear: freedom for your family. Truth for the voiceless, healing for the broken, beauty for a tired world. There will be critics. Some will speak from love and some from envy. Learn to distinguish the two and to listen to the one that helps you grow. The voices that try to shut you down are not stronger than the voice I placed within you. Silence the inner accuser with deeds that match the dreams that woke you in the night. I will give you allies in unexpected places, a chance meeting with a stranger who becomes your mentor, a small investment that becomes the seed of an empire, someone's skilled hand that completes what your hands began. Treasure people more than contracts. People are living channels of grace. They will carry your legacy forward in ways you cannot plan. Money is a servant, use it to build what endures: institutions that teach, works that heal, art that remembers the human heart, businesses that lift workers rather than grind them. Do not be ashamed to dream big. Audacity honors me as much as humility, but pair your audacity with discipline. Dreams without discipline evaporate like morning mist. Break your ambition into daily acts, small deeds, consistent habits, a life scaffold on routine and radical hope. I am the God of step by step, not of only sudden epiphany. The miracles you imagine are often the fruit of persistence, 1,000 unnoticed efforts threading into a tapestry I reveal when the time is right. Remember the power of words. Speak with intention. Words bless or they damage, they build bridges or burn them. Speak life over your family, over your projects, over your own weary parts. Train your language to lift, to bless, to name possibility even when circumstance names defeat. The tongue is a small rudder that guides great ships. Be slow to anger and quick to forgive. Grudges are anchors that keep you from sailing into the abundance I have prepared. Forgiveness is not a favor to those who hurt you, it is a liberation for your soul. Unforgiveness lodges like a stone in the river of your future. Remove it and watch how the water flows. I will test your integrity. Often the test will come with a temptation to take the easy profit that softens the edge of a moral choice, a shortcut in business. A compromise in character, a silence when your voice might spare harm. Choose integrity. It will cost you in some seasons, but integrity compounds interest. Your name, the way you are known, will be your true currency. When you become known as someone who keeps covenant, who honors promises, who returns what is entrusted to them, doors will open that money cannot buy. Know also that my timing is perfect even when it feels late. Waiting seasons are not wasted, They are the quiet workshops where your faith muscles are built and your vision is refined. If you are in a waiting place, do the work appointed to you there, deepen your skill, enlarge your heart, serve in small ways that only I may notice. Preparation in obscurity is more valuable than premature exposure. There will be losses, relationships that end, plans that dissolve, the closing of doors. Loss does not equal abandonment. I mourn with you. I reshape the ruins into the foundation for greater things. Sometimes I allow loss so that excess is burned away, so that you return to basics and find that the core of you was always what mattered. Pain is a teacher you did not choose, but it bears a curriculum of strength, empathy, and wisdom. Use it to become someone who can enter other people's suffering without fear, someone who can hold hands in darkness because you have known night yourself. When the world offers you shortcuts to fame, remember that fame is a fragile bubble. It will not warm you at 3 in the morning when your soul is cold. Seek significance over fame. Live so that your impact outlives your image. Plant trees whose shade you may never sit under. Teach so that a generation you may not meet can rise higher. Love so that the echo of your care shapes futures. Be relentless in your pursuit of truth. Lies accumulate like dust and they suffocate communities. Speak the truth in love. Protect truth in your business dealings, in your art, in your relationships. Let transparency be your policy. Where there is secrecy for selfish gain, dismantle it with light. If you are worried about failure, remember I designed you with a failure tolerance. You will fall. And I will not let the falls define you. Failure gives you a map of what not to repeat and the humility to ask for help. Embrace mentors. Your network, carefully chosen, will become the scaffolding when storms come. Seek counsel from those you respect for their wisdom, not their applause. Surround yourself with people who will call you higher. There will be seasons when you must walk away from what is comfortable to follow where I point. Do not fear the radical pivot. Calling often looks like dislocation before it looks like arrival. The courage to leave is often the precursor to the courage to receive. As you walk into new arenas, be a steward of culture where you land. Shape companies, communities, and creative spaces with values that honor human dignity and creativity. The future needs pioneers who code compassion into systems, who write profit models that include people, who craft narratives that heal rather than cheapen. Invest in education, yours and others. Knowledge compounds, and a generous mind is a multiplier of blessing. Use resources to expand opportunities, especially for those who have been boxed out. When you lift others, you amplify an ancient law: abundance multiplies when it is shared. Keep your interior life guarded. Public success without private integrity is brittle. Build habits that nourish soul, solitude, honest reflection, prayer or meditation that keeps your compass true. Friendships that speak truth, rest that rejuvenates. Rest is not laziness, it is wisdom. Even my creation rested on the seventh day. Know also that relationships will be the test and the reward of your wealth. Cultivate love that is patient and kind, that speaks in deeds more than slogans, that listens generously, that forgives repeatedly. Love people even when they disappoint you. Human beings are not projects to be optimized but souls to be loved. If family is broken, be the first to offer a hand. If love seems distant, practice tenderness. If you are in power, use it to shelter the powerless, to amplify silenced voices, to correct injustices. Power without compassion mutates into tyranny. I will send you warnings and signs, not always loud. Sometimes whispers, attend to them. Your intuition is not random, it is a compass trained by experience, prayer, and listening. When you feel a persistent pull, investigate it. When peace accompanies a decision, embrace it. When there is dread in the gut, proceed with caution. Discernment is a gift and also a practice. Financially, learn to steward. Extravagance without purpose wastes the generational gifts I might entrust you with. Build systems, budget your giving, plan for seasons of scarcity, invest for the long term, protect the vulnerable in your family and community with wise structures. Avoid the debt that enslaves rather than empowers. But do not let fear of risk keep you from necessary ventures. Calculated risk, informed by counsel and prayerful consideration, is often the bridge between dream and reality. When setbacks arrive, be quick to adapt. The world changes fast and flexibility is an asset. Reinvent, but keep your core values steady. Entrepreneurship, creativity, leadership, these are fields where failure is normal. Learn to fail fast, extract wisdom, iterate, and relaunch with humility and improved insight. Celebrate wins but measure them rightly. True wins are those that align with purpose and send ripples of good into other lives. Let gratitude accompany every milestone. Gratitude keeps your heart tethered to reality and opens you to further blessing. Know that I delight in your delight. I rejoice in each note of laughter, each shared meal, each child learning to read, each small business opening its doors, each artist finishing a work, each healed friendship. Celebrate honestly and frequently, joy is holiness. Beware of the lie that timing is only yours to control. I orchestrate seasons. Sometimes your impatience and the world's impatience will conspire to make you reckless. Patience is not passive, it is an active trust in the unfolding of a good plan. Keep working. Keep learning. Keep loving. Keep giving. Keep forgiving. Keep speaking truth. Keep listening for my quieter promptings that arrive not as thunder but as steady, insistent nudges. When opportunity appears, ask not only, "What will this give me?" but "Whom will this help? How will this shape my soul?" Let legacy be a word you measure daily by the lives you touch. When you feel alone, remember you are not. I have placed angels around you in human form, teachers, friends, strangers who will become family. Be quick to recognize those hands and quicker to accept help when it's offered. I do not expect you to do this alone. I wired community into your design. If you are tempted to think that your worth equals your productivity, reject that lie. Worth is intrinsic and infinite. It is not earned by output. Rest in being beloved, and let that belonging fuel your doing. If you are in a dark place because of choices you regret, know that repentance is not humiliation but reorientation. Return, sincerely. Repair what you can. Where you cannot, ask others to carry the load. There is redemption in honest confession and brave restitution. I love redesigning lives. If you fear what others will say, remember that the opinions of the offended are not the metric of your redemption, the metric is transformation. When criticism is warranted, listen and change. When it is merely spite, forgive and continue. Finally, know this. The life of abundance I invite you into is both external and interior. I will open doors, but more importantly I will enlarge the room inside you to receive what I send. The richest life is one in which your inner world, your peace, your purpose, your love, matches the outward signs of success. Chase harmony between the two. Let your wealth bless generations, not just headlines. Plant with eternity in mind. Build with humility. Love recklessly. Give generously. Lead justly. Create beauty. Heal harm. Speak truth. Walk faithfully. I chose you not to make you comfortable but to make you courageous, not to make you famous but to make you fruitful, not to make you proud but to make you whole. Walk forward with boldness tempered by grace, with ambition steered by love, and with persistence bathed in patience. I am with you, not at a distance, not as an afterthought, but as the steady presence that has always held you. Receive this as a promise and a summons. This is your appointment with possibility. Rise into it. I am not finished with you yet. Listen now as I continue to unfold what I have whispered into the crevices of your longing. There is a rhythm to becoming, a pattern of sowing and waiting and tending and reaping, and you stand now at a place where the next movement is not accidental but ordained, move with intention. Let each morning be a covenant with your highest calling. Begin small if you must, but begin. Carve out time to create, to plan, to love, to rest. Let your calendar be a temple where priorities are consecrated, where the sacred and the practical meet. Do not confuse busyness with fruitfulness. Much labor yields little when it is not aligned with purpose. Ask me for clarity and I will give you a lamp for the next step. Not always the whole staircase. Walk the step before you, and the next will appear. When you encounter counsel, weigh it with prayer and wisdom. Not every loud voice is from me, but the still, steady nudges that persist after reflection are my hand on your shoulder. Be teachable. Pride repels correction, humility receives it as fertilizer. Learn as if your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Read widely, listen deeply, apprentice to those who have crossed the terrain you now face. Skill is a kind of faith made visible. Invest in it and watch doors that once seemed locked swing open. As fortunes rise, think beyond yourself. Wealth that circles back only to one person becomes a barren island. Wealth that reaches outward becomes a chain of islands connected by bridges of mercy. Create opportunities for people who were not born into the same starting line. Mentor, employ, fund, advocate. Turn your blessings into platforms that elevate others. Your legacy will be measured not by your ledger but by the lives you lift. Keep the sacred in how you steward influence. Influence can be a soft, steady breeze that cools a fevered world, or it can become a scorching wind that leaves ruin. Choose to be a cooling presence, advocate for justice, steward environments where dignity is protected, use your resources to dismantle systems that crush the vulnerable. Where you see injustice, make noise. Where you can make repair, do it with humility and diligence. Let mercy be the default mode of your governance, of your household, your business, your relationships. I am a God of restoration. Let your hands practice what I practice. Remember that excellence is not perfectionism. Excellence honors the gift you've been given and refines it to bless others. Perfectionism kills creativity and stalls movement. Ship what is good, then improve. The market of kindness rewards those who start and iterate, not those who wait for impossible standards. Be patient with your own becoming. You will surprise yourself with what you can learn in a year, and even more in 5. Track progress, not perfection. Keep a journal of small wins and lessons learned. When doubt returns later, read it like a map back to courage. There will be moments when success tests your soul with invitations to compromise the very things that made you trustworthy. In those moments, speak the truth even if your voice shakes. Courage that speaks truth in vulnerability earns long-term respect that no shortcut can purchase. If scandal or false accusation comes, as it sometimes will when people cannot understand your path, do not retaliate with equal force. Meet falsehood with steadfast truth and let time and integrity be the two witnesses that clear your name. In seasons of abundance, build margin into your life. Margin is not a luxury, it is a life-preserving practice. It allows you to respond to emergencies without panic, to give generously without recklessness, to rest without guilt. Systems you create today, emergency funds, clear boundaries, reliable advisors, will protect tomorrow's dignity. Do not neglect the arts of celebration. Give yourself permission to celebrate well. Throw feasts for the people who love you, mark milestones with gratitude, teach children the joy of a well-told story. Celebration is the gospel of abundance made visible. It trains your soul to recognize blessing and to be a conduit of joy. Keep learning the language of negotiation and the discipline of covenant. Contracts will come, let them be instruments of mutual flourishing rather than traps. Read terms, seek counsel, and when you negotiate, aim for outcomes that leave both parties dignified. In business and in love, practice fairness. When you find yourself in positions of leadership, remember that leadership is stewardship, not privilege. The posture of a steward is service. Still your desire for domination and ask instead, how may I serve this team, this family, this community? Measure success by how many you bring up with you, not by how many you bypass. Do not be afraid to prune. Growth often requires painful cuts, markets that do not serve, relationships that drain, habits that calcify. Pruning is mercy, for yourself and for what you hope to cultivate next. Make room for new shoots by courageously letting old branches fall. Stay alert to the spiritual dimensions of your choices. Material strategies matter, planning, marketing, investment, but so does posture. Pray for humility in power, for wisdom in counsel, for hearts that remain soft in triumph. Cultivate spiritual disciplines, silence to hear, fasting to recalibrate, confession to cleanse, worship to reorient. These practices will anchor you when storms come. When you encounter suffering, do not harden. Let compassion be your reflex, volunteer, give, listen, advocate. There is a peculiar intelligence in empathy. It opens doors of trust that logic cannot. Bear one another's burdens practically, with time, with resources, with presence. Teach your children, if you have them, these same rhythms. Raise them to be citizens of generosity, to treat money as a tool and people as ends, to value character over spectacle. Your family is a primary conduit of the values you wish to leave the world, Steward that field with patience, consistency, and lots of small, ordinary kindnesses. If you are single, learn to pour into your future relationships now by becoming the kind of person worth partnering with, steady, honest, gentle, competent, and prayerful. In matters of the heart, move with integrity. Do not collect admirers as trophies. Seek depth over convenience. When choices about timing come, be led by conviction, not by fear or societal pressure. Remain wise about alliances. Not every opportunity is a sustainable fit. Test every door with questions. Will this align with the person God is forming in me? Will it help others? Can I steward this responsibly? If the answers lean toward harm, decline with grace. Let your no be as deliberate as your yes. Protect your reputation by doing the right thing even when no one is watching. The quiet choices build the narrative that will carry you through public storms. Be generous in credit. Celebrate teams loudly and take responsibility privately. Leaders who build cultures of recognition multiply loyalty and create fertile ground for innovation. When you share credit, people flourish, and ideas grow wings. Continue to cultivate friendships that are honest and tender. Friends who tell you the hard truth are rarer than yes people. Treasure them. Speak plainly in love and receive correction as a gift. Friendship is a rehearsal for community, a place to practice grace and grit. Know that grief and joy can coexist. You may gain much and still mourn much. Both are true and both deserve space. Allow yourself to grieve